Someone's telling me not to do something because of repercussions from Maria Tavares and this Inez Arujo here. You know, from what I'm understanding, I lost a lot of my soul consciousness, and she did something where she got rid of my higher self and my connection to God and all of that. Some did something where I was able to get my higher self, and she was, you know, unfortunately able to walk out. I don't get it because it goes by soul contract, and my higher self is supposed to be my Jewish great grandmother. So there should be no reason behind how she could kick out. But to make a long story short, I've been trying to call on my higher self to get back in, to come back in my body, for spiritual protection and all of that, and it's been harsh. And I heard in the middle of the night that Inez Rujo, who, as I've said before, killed an 11-year-old girl. I mean, not 11, I mean, a young black woman, a sex worker, reporting a cousin for rape. I lost Mark Angel Michael. I heard he could no longer be around. It looked like Sub-Zero. I hear that wetback bitch talking in my soul consciousness right now as I talk. And I hear her trying to take controls of things. My higher self is trying as much as she could to stave it off, to block it off. I'm trying to figure out what the fuck is going on now because I'm overwhelmingly confused. The mechanisms, I just wish my spirit team, if they were a true spirit team, every time I try to hand shit over to Baron Samedi and all that, he don't. I mentioned something about him a long time ago, but another thing I want to mention too is I noticed, my father, who's my connection to my Godhead, the other day, they noticed that the lower self of Maria Tavares, or Paraffin, I believe her name is, Eliza Solano or Serrano, I believe her maiden name is Vargas Martinez. I think I figured out her soul consciousness name or whatever. To make a long story short, a couple of days ago, I felt something explode. Seems to be fucking with me really, really bad. Her evil ass in my soul consciousness. She done permeated. I was about to say something. Keep hearing her say what I'm saying, like she's trying to get possession of my mind, to control it so she could pull me down to that. Every time I was about to say something very, very vital. Here's some of my necklaces. I brought this Anubis with the Ankh. That's great for spiritual protection. Something how my Isis ring fell just now. That's my connection to my mom in that timeline. They keep taking my Isis, from what I understand. Within us we have entity attachments that connects us to our ancestors and all of that, and turning it into and taking the power and all of that from it and converting it into Heke to give to Zendaya, who put me up as a sacrifice. you know, there was something I was about to mention. Another thing I wanted to mention too is she fucking with my consciousness. I gotta get this wetback bitch out and do something. I know they open today at 8704 Broadway, Street by 87 in Broadway, Los Angeles, California 90003. I think the reader can be reached at 3237787748. But anyways, the reader who I got a reading from, I believe she could be reached at that number. As well at 866-877-347-2423. There's a video I want to do about the ice raids, by the way, in which, you know, I got some information, the spirit plane, you know, for warning of what's to come with that. Getting all sorts of shit, not because of this wetback bitch in my energy. And she controlling something that, you know, my poor higher self is trying to block. But anyways, with that being said, to go to show something happened on May the 1st, 2024. My dad, who's my connection to, you know, God and all of that, it goes through your ancestors, as I've said before, and your family and relatives. And I know this in the spirit plane, my parents in that timeline, going back to August 22nd, 2022, have become ancestors. With that being said, 20th, with that being said, all the shit moving around, I keep having, like, with this Inez Arujo, Maria Tavares, Paraffin, in the middle of the night. I believe her lower self's name is, that's what I wanted to get at. It's Eliza or Elsie or Elsa Solano or Serrano, and I believe maiden name is Martinez or Vargas. I believe she's married to this guy. Works there, and I heard he raped an 11-year-old girl. To make a long story short, that wetback bitch was physical. To go to show that something happened on May 1st, 2024. Very, very physical. Whereas I'm transparent. I literally don't exist in the spirit plane. And I think the thing I wanted to mention too is, this is what I mentioned off camera, I no longer have my Archangel Michael. I don't know why, but he's no longer here. But anyways, she's physical. And that means that, I want to say I died, but I'm no longer in that timeline. And I kept seeing she's going to try to control it. Santa Muerte. Signs saying, you're dead, you're dead. I hate this. You know, they'll be like, I got you to see. You know, I'm just speaking my truth. You got you to see that? Yeah. You want to see, but speaking my truth. With that being said, there were a bunch of other things that happened on that date. I'm told that she's thriving. You know, this Inez Arujo is a soul consciousness or some shit like that. She's thriving in that timeline, driving a Porsche, doing very, very well, making a lot of money. You know, I've seen too many correlations to let me know I'm no longer in the world of the living. Like, you know, people asleep at the wheel. You know, every now and then, if something major happens spiritually for me, I'll see the LAPD helicopter overhead, riding around and all of that. And I remember one time it emitted a plasma gun. I know that sounds crazy, but I'm not lying. you know, I'll see them, you know, riding around. It's a quiet area, you really don't see that. And I could hear, you know, sometimes the cops from there sounding like demons. You can use 3517 hertz, 3571 hertz to change somebody back into being, you know, a person. 117 hertz combined with 800 hertz, which could be used to revive physical bodies, is also great for reviving spirit bodies, because entity attachments of your ancestors and all of that live on in your body, your physical body, no matter what happens to them. Even if your physical body is cremated, that's why it's powerful, you know, especially living, you know, like I used to say, living in the world of the demiurge, to be in the physical vessel, to be in the physical body. This bitch done taking control of a lot of my entity attachments to kill my ass. Like I said, I remember, you know, if I do something in the spirit plane, that LAPD helicopter will leave. And I remember one night hearing it directly right outside my window. I'll never forget that. Another thing I want to mention too is for Soul Rescue 125, 1185 hertz, along with 156 hertz to free people from spirit jars. Even motherfuckers been trying to get rid of my little road spirits and all of that. I remember, you know, one time, not that long ago, feeling like a green screen being opened in here in Santa Muerte. On my timeline shows squiggly lines. I see people asleep at the wheel like they simultaneously awake. Live in the physical plane, and their bodies are, you know, astral bodies are asleep in the astral plane. I'm not in the right place. You know, I remember some months back, Johnny Dane being killed. There's a guy by the name of Bretman Rock who's full-on homosexual. In my reality, my former reality, well, that is my reality. No matter what, he wasn't gay. That man was, he looked like it because, you know, people tend to be very thin. I was Vietnamese myself in my past life, but I was a fat motherfucker. During the Vietnam War, and I prostituted. But to make a long story short, I felt Maria Tavares' Inez Rujo or something fucking with my head really, really bad. Time for this shit. You know what I wanted to say? Before entity attachments, so to remember now, your ancestors live in your head. But Bretman Rock, you know, he was all, you know, straight male, 80s, you know, rock star type guy, you know, very, very down to earth, you know, concrete, real dude, you know, just straight up, straight to, you know, real type of fucking dude. And in this timeline, they have him, you know, gain all of that. That wasn't him. You know, I haven't, the last person to have something against that, so just say that as a forewarning, but she might fuck with. But anyways, hopefully that nothing happens with that. All right. So with that being said, being told she gonna fuck with me too if I go out today and fuck with an entity attachments, my higher the highest self. She did something where she got rid of them road spirits in the middle of the night. Soul consciousness, I feel like some MK Ultra shit, like I'm all over the fucking place. My energy is all out there. I gotta do something about this shit. I remember before May the 1st, 2024, I couldn't say certain fucking things because I would get intimidated, feel something coming from the spirit plane because my shit's so fucking wide open. And it's just getting worse and worse and worse. Especially with this Maria Tavares and with Santa Muerte and all of them. I actually try to get people to do, you know, you can always petition God to get off. Supposed to exist, she had told, but thought form that's not supposed to exist. Just trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. This shit, but like I say, if I play 1150 hertz to try to get shit back, she'll block it. Or 3002 hertz, she'll block it. Look at this evil shit off and get back to that timeline. I was having dreams and visions of her because of her to divert from what she's been doing to me. Can't even call friends because of this. This is unreal. I know I can't get back to the way I used to be, but it's like my human propensities had issues just cleaning this with my new washer and dryer. I just brought a little portable one. It's cute and it's perfect. I wish I would have known about that shit. If I did, I would have been able to, wash my clothes a long time ago and take care of things in my day. When I was having visions of that and how there's a girl in that timeline. Her timeline started in Chafalai Bay. Where else did they start? Radio City Music Hall. She originally from Destrehan, Louisiana. I got her name is Ashley Terrell or Renee Wellinger or something. Make a long story short, I think it's Ashley Terrell. I remember, it's just sad. My father telling me about it in his timeline. I know I'm meandering, but it's a lot. What I gotta do with this wetbag bitch, I want to choke the shit out of that reader. You have no idea. Ice would be the best. And I want to talk about that in the future, what's coming with that and what I saw and what I was told and how a lot of this shit's coming to fruition, but call ICE on that bitch at 866-877-347-2423. Ain't in no realm of Santa Muerte, so they ain't got shit to worry about. All you need is frankincense and myrrh along with black tourmaline for her ass. But having somebody, this is how Santa Muerte works, That's why I say petition God to get rid of her, because she has to go through your higher to higher selves to be able to exist. To have any meat to her. I remember hearing her say something when I was looking at things through a vision, fooling her into thinking that she's still alive or some shit, going back to that May the 1st, 2024 timeline. But with that being said, with that Maria Tavares, they got to operate. She got to operate through your higher to higher selves, and that's what I'm grappling with. Somebody's higher to higher self taking over my higher to higher selves, taking over my soul consciousness, stealing it like she's done with Darren Samadies. He had to take his and pack his up and get the fuck out of my energy, my soul consciousness, my body because of that. Him and his higher self. This is the original black dude. New one was a white dude. I think she, fucked up and all of that. But with that being said, I remember I was trying to pull 1150 hertz, day 3002 hertz. Well, anyways, it's just too much. Yesterday, I saw my highest self try to get back in and help as much as she can, and things get distorted the minute I just do a certain action or whatever. And her blocking my father from being able to help me out, being able to put me back together. And I was trying to yesterday, and the day I heard that my soul consciousness got placed in that Inez Arujo. Like I say, they opened today at 8704 Broadway by 87 and Broadway Street, 90003. Trying to figure out what's going on with that. I feel like I'm being put under heavy fucking curses. I've got the Illuminati over me. I saw in the spirit plane. I'm trying to figure out what's going on with that. I don't want that shit. That's designed to keep me stuck in these timelines, I think, and keep me out my body from what I heard going back to the August the 22nd, 2022, or 20th timeline. I plan on posting a video later on talking about that timeline and what's showing how I had a video talking about being taken over. She was codenamed Rosie. It was a big old fat young white girl. When I was staying at the shelter First to Serve, I actually saw her walking into the bathroom like she was void of any consciousness. It was me, no personality, just dead inside. And they started giving her, I think, a lot of my consciousness or whatever, or her old one as much as they could of growing up in Destrehan. But I saw her and she looked a lot like Mama June. Big old fat nasty looking white girl that's inhabiting my body. And from what I understand, she's protected by the Windsors. I heard and saw in the spirit plane, my parents being, I've been trying to help them out as much as I could, put them along with them road spirits. We both get together, put them back, use 3517 hertz. They've been trying to get rid of them as much as possible because they stay helping me out. 117 hertz along with, combined with 800 hertz to put them back together. And they've been trying to, like Maria Tavares, Paraffin did to me one night, still, I think that's a soul consciousness, steal that timeline from out of me so I can't be able to contact my parents or help them out in that timeline. That's how I know it's real. That's why in that film, The Butterfly Effect, all your boy had to do was just close his eyes and his reality would change. Because all that shit's within you. Your timelines tend to extend externally and then out. And with that being said, I saw her being under them, governed by them, the demiurge and all of that. I heard they fixed it to where I can't even get back in my body. And they got her smelling like cinnamon, so you won't know that she's in a decaying body because she ain't supposed to be in that motherfucker. But they've been putting her soul matrix, soul consciousness in there to keep me out. It got worse when Maria Tavares, or Paraffin, other people took possession of a lot of my consciousnesses. I got Jehoshaphat. I'm trying to figure out what's going on with that. It's talking about stay out of these bitches. I've seen that timeline as well. Stay out of their timelines. This Zoe Paris Jennings. I'm not agreeing to make anything that's going to put me under spiritual pressure. He's the entity that goes around putting people in hell realms. I don't know what he's trying to do with me. Putting folks in hell realms, keep them stuck. He's the one that put Elegua, whose real name is Elizondo Salazar, while he was alive in the hell realm. Well, it's, you could have got rebuilt. I just, yeah, my spirit team ain't even trying to help me out. I got Maria Tavares trying to manipulate my soul consciousness right now to fuck with something. But it's just, I was seeing, I guess it drove me off track about Maria Tavares and what she doing. Experiencing that timeline. She's supposed to be like, I had a dream a long time ago where I was in the studio recording music. That's what she's doing in that timeline. I heard with Lil Wayne Birdman feeling up all over her and all of that, and she's supposed to be with him and got two little nigglets with him, two little black heads, one of whom I heard has been helping me, and from what I understand, they fucked up looking in the astral plane because it's literal spirit that's inhabiting my body. Big old fat Mama June looking motherfuckers, so they all fucked up. They soul consciousness in the spirit plane. They look like the progeny of a big fat white woman. All fucked up looking, but black at the same time because she's inhabiting my physical body. I heard they look like homunculuses. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and do this reading and then post a video later on. I feel like, I've been wanting to post a video about Madonna and all that shit. There's shit that's trying to delay me from posting shit that's crucial about my situation. Don and all that from getting back to where I used to be, which I feel is almost impossible. You gotta learn my soul consciousness is tied to the Inez rule. That's supposed to be her soul consciousness, and that May the 1st, 2024 timeline. I saw she on Univision with that shit, and I don't like all these motherfuckers feeding on me. I'm Paris Jennings, Zoe Jennings, with no say so. I guy who's supposedly helping me out, which I heard he ain't supposed to. They're supposed to keep me under heavy curses. Him and Santa Muerte supposed to be working to keep me under heavy curses. Took a lot of shit from me. I'm trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. I'm almost ready to say where he comes from and fucked up situation with who he lords over. It's just fucked up. Very fucked up. So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and do the cards and just get this shit over with. A whole day ahead, I don't feel like being inside. Being told, oh, you gotta stay inside to get rid. There's something about paranoia for the rest of your life. That's why I say I gotta kick all this evil shit to the curb. I've been hearing that my next life family, supposed to be coming in strong or something. I can't even say their name because shit got you wide open. Supposed to be red haired, the daughter of a former client who I felt was like a dad in this timeline, white dude. Anyways, we're going through the cards. In the obstacle position, we got the devil. And I feel like there's something that's obfuscating you from getting where you need to be. Major blockage, hindrance. Seven of Swords is your present position. And I feel like there's motherfuckers that's got you under heavy oppression, that's making you feel like you being blocked and shit, but you ain't. Five of Cups is your future position. You're gonna be heading in a direction where you're gonna be getting a lot of your shit and you're gonna be happy. Ten of Swords, current position. Ten of Swords, subconscious. You feel like you at a point where everything just gone to hell. You're almost giving up. Goal position, the Chariot. I see you wanting to move in the direction of victory, but Two of Swords. Advice card. Some horrible shit. I remember when I was being rebuilt by my parents, seeing them, it's supposed to be their souls or soul consciousness, but instead I only got like fucking roach attachments, entity attachments. And Maria Tavares was taking over that to try to get rid of my higher self. She almost got rid of a couple of days ago. And I trying to hold on to my higher self as much as I could, being told play 3002 and she be fucking with the rose spirits. And you know, but they strong. Can't be dominated out no way. It confused me. That's the advice to take. Two of Swords, and feed her ass and get real spiritual help. Two of Swords, advice card, that's to go down the right path. The Sun, the energy that circumvents you, and I feel that you're in a place where a lot of motherfuckers is feeding off you. Watch out for that. Eight of Wands, Fears in Your Hopes card. You're going to be going in the right direction towards a better place. Three of Pentacles, outcome. You're going to be overcoming a lot of evil shit. With that being said, for a more personalized reading, please contact me at readingbyterror22@yahoo.com. Peace.